As we drive, TJ continues to stare out the window. But his ears are up, and he doesn't seem so depressed anymore. Wow, it was that easy.
It must... I would say if I was a...
And he wasn't depressed
If I was an anthropomorphic animal, it would be very annoying to have to display my depression so obviously and not be able to hide it like I normally do.
I mean, people do have a lot of tells of what their moods are and so on. It's just... They have the writer has some very clear shorthands they can lean on all the time because of all the animal expression.
I just imagine it'd be way more difficult to have to not only control your facial expression, but also your gigantic ears that take up like a third of your whole head.
Yeah. Well, your character's a goat, and I don't think goats have, like, expressive ears, do they? I don't think that's a thing.
All the goats' main expression is evil. Just bad intent.
They're just always scheming. That's why their eyes are like that.
Yeah.
I lean over towards him. You feeling better? TJ turns to look at me, smiling. Yeah. It was fun playing with you guys. I grin. You're insanely good. He shakes his head. Not compared to the other guys at school. I'm not aggressive enough. But it's fun.
Aw.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. TJ nods. It's too bad we can't come back and do it again tomorrow. Why not? Not that I'm crazy about doing it again, but I'm not sure what would prevent it. He looks at me. Well, your project. I frown. I don't think... Hey, what flavor do you guys want? Leo practically shouts back at us. I look around. We aren't even at the ice cream parlor yet. That doesn't seem to matter to TJ, though. Was Leo interrupting the thought process? Because I think Leo told TJ earlier while they were alone that we can't do it tomorrow because of my project.
Oh.
Because he wants us
alone.
Yep. I keep thinking about what everyone else is doing whenever we're not around.
Because right now it's...
right now there's no Jen or Flinna. No Jen, Flinna, or Flinna? Jenna,
Flinna,
Flynn,
Carla.
or Carl are somewhere, maybe, together or alone.
I mean, I know that Flynn and Carl get along well. I just don't see Jenna being able to put up with Flynn enough to hang out with just the three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know what they're up to. I'm like, why didn't we invite Jenna? Jenna was on the hike. Why isn't she on soccer day?
Jenna would be great at soccer day.
Yeah. Leo just wanted to win for once, which was a miscalculation.
He, like, purposefully, to invite Jenna.
Oh, cookie dough. It's been so long since I've had it. Really? I didn't know you liked that flavor. And somehow Leo was able to keep up the conversation about ice cream flavors all the way to the actual ice cream parlor. That was calculated.
Yes.
He schemed.
Their ice cream is
this is the least
Jubilee.
Oh, we came back to the rail place. I'm like, this is a fucked up looking ice cream parlor.
Oh yeah, I don't think we should go into that ice cream parlor.
Yeah, I don't trust that ice cream parlor.
There are rad roaches in that ice cream parlor.
But I gotta get the blue Nuka-Cola. I decided to get shots I decided that the shots I got earlier this day were too bright, not representative of the sad state of the town I wanted.
It's not depressing enough.
It's making editorial choices. The setting sun does a better job of capturing the desolation, the bittersweet desperation of it all. A metaphor for an end, in a way. At least, that's how I hope it comes across. I lean back against the old, rusted car, clicking through the images I'd taken. It feels very quiet, despite the wildlife around me. And so, that's why it's easy for me to pick out the footsteps headed in my direction. At first I think it's Leo, and I wonder how he's finished up with his shower so quickly. But then I realize that the crunch of dried vegetation is too soft, too light to be Leo. Great.
Chase, why are you not, like, paying attention to who's walking up to you here?
Yeah, this is just alarming. And also, like, why couldn't it be the other guy? This guy's so much worse.
The Duke, you mean?
Yeah. This guy's way more alarming than Duke so far.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know if Duke would do anything. He's just very
Duke's
suspicious
just kind of startled
about something. I look up, kind of hoping to see Kudzu, but instead I'm greeted with the sight of Clint heading in my direction.
Oh, hell
Okay, which one
no.
of you is bigger? Maybe Chase, because he's like, this guy's rail, but...
Well, this guy's thin and tweaked out, but if he is, like, don't underestimate tweaker strength.
My grip tightens on the camera, watching as he approaches around the bend of the tracks. Stop yawning for no reason. It's only 7, 8. It's 8. He doesn't see me at first. He gets to the tracks. As he gets to the tracks, he hops onto the metal rails and balances there, walking along like he's on a tightrope. Hide. Does everyone in Echo just come here to take a walk? I think about walking around the train car, but out of his sight, and hide till he passes me. But while I'm thinking this, he loses his balance and stumbles off the rail, and that's when he looks up. Of course, I'm the first thing he sees, and we both just sort of stand there, watching each other. I don't know what to do. Cood and Clint probably didn't remember... Cood said Clint probably didn't say remember anything from last night, but I'm not willing to bet on it. It does look like he's not even sure who I am, though. His eyes are squinted, almost shut, mouth all screwed up as he scratches his head comically. He leans forward, almost to the point of falling over again. Definitely on something. At that moment, a look of recognition spreads across his face, and his mouth opens wide.
Oh no.
Then he starts jogging straight for me.
Oh no.
Cool. This is going great. The abruptness of his movements startle me, and I almost drop the camera. He just starts cryptid charging.
I don't like that.
He's moving at a reduced frame rate. I angle myself away from the car so I'm not backed up against it, and start taking steps back as he gets closer. He stops, though, about 10 feet away, and points at me.
Hey, I know you!
I'm at a loss for what to say. He's wobbling back and forth, his eyes wide open.
Your name!
There's an awkward pause where I try to determine whether or not he's asking a question. My name? Chase?
Chase?
Why did I tell him that?
You're Leo's fag friend.
I'm distracted again because that's when I see the handle of a pistol just poking out of the front of his waistband of Clint's jeans. Clint glares.
Fucking Leo. Why do you hang out with that creep?
I'm looking around trying to decide the best way of escape in case he loses it.
I mean, he's always saying shit to me. Always saying shit about my dad. He had a perfect fucking life and rubs it in my goddamn face.
That's a strange read of Leo's life.
Well, I mean, look at this guy's life.
Yeah.
This guy's life, he's not doing too good.
I take a few innocuous steps back so that the end of the car is right next to me, in case I have to duck behind it. I don't think Leo's life was that easy. It's pretty bad back in his country.
Fucking beaner coming here to make my fucking life even worse. Couldn't go home and be happy. Couldn't go outside and be happy. I can't be happy anywhere.
He sneers at me.
And you fuck him, don't you?
I just stare at him and don't say anything. I feel like anything I could say could set him off, but he waits patiently, expecting an answer. Clint.
Don't you?
He shudders visibly, clenching his eyes shut.
Fucking imagine you licking his fat ass is disgusting. Why are you thinking about it so hard?
Yeah, this is self-inflicted.
Seems like you put a lot of time into this. I don't even fucking care that you're fagging around, but with him?
If I wasn't so afraid of the whole situation, I would have laughed just then. I take another step back. Hey, I was actually about to just head out. You know, I'm doing this project, that's why I'm here. He glares at me. Me and Leo broke up a few years ago. We're just friends. Ooh, that's a different pose.
You don't know what he's like. The things he did to me. It was way worse than what I ever did to you.
But, hey, I do need to head out. We can talk about this later. He sees me stepping around the car, and immediately his hand shoots to the handle of the gun.
Hey!
I freeze, watching his hand, prepared to throw myself to the ground if he pulls it out. At the same time, I'm praying that he'll shoot his dick off if he does. He glares at me.
What the hell are you even doing out here anyway?
With shaking hands, I point to the camera around my neck. I told you, I'm doing a project. I try to smile as I hold it up.
Just about Echo? What the fuck is there to say about it?
His hand loosens on the pistol, and I manage to steady my voice enough to actually speak. Well, there's a history to it, you know? There's history to everything. I'm just trying to figure it out. Clint looks around, seeming to forget about his gun.
Oh, like this railroad?
Yeah, like this railroad. Clint's eyes are vacant as he stares at the ground, and I think about making a run for it again.
Oh.
I jump as he snaps his head back up.
My dad once told me that his dad knew a guy that got killed here back in, like, the 50s.
Oh? Despite the fact that there's a crazy meth head in front of me with a gun, I still find myself becoming interested.
Yeah, like, some guy was trying to hop on one, like, way back when that's how people would get around. So this guy was trying to hop on this train here when it was leaving the station, but he missed jumping on.
Clint sits down in the dry and dusty weeds and spreads his legs out over the rails.
And he falls down like this, and runs over his legs.
Clint brings both hands down in chopping motions over his thighs.
Blood goes everywhere, and yeah, he's dead, right?
He looks up at me, and I realize he's actually waiting for an answer. I guess his questions are never rhetorical. I'd assume so, right?
Wrong. They found him a few hours later, and somehow that fucker's still alive.
Oh. I'm already starting to doubt the story, or at least this version of it.
The stumps is packed with dirt, so he stopped the bleeding, but he's gone crazy by now. He's going on about some creature that came to him and spoke whispers in his ear.
Well, at the very least, I can just stick the story somewhere slow in the project to keep things somewhat interesting. One of those local urban legends type stuff.
But then he goes to the hospital and they think he's gonna live, but he jumps out the fucking window and kills himself.
Clint stands up and brushes himself off.
My dad used to tell me that story a lot. Not like I wanted to hear it, but he liked telling me things I didn't want to hear.
Oh.
Well, that's honestly a pretty bad story to tell a kid.
Yeah, no. Also, I'm just worried about, anytime you tell a story within a story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of the story of Mira and how that was relevant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you telling the story about getting your legs chopped off in the railroad that we keep coming back to throughout Leo's route?
I feel like, and us who has very vivid dreams about really fucked up things all the time probably doesn't need to hear more fucked up things.
And we're really good at leg damage already.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't quite know what to say to that. But I want to keep on his good side, so I make a show of pulling a notebook out of my bag. Well, thanks, Clint. That actually helps me out a lot. But Clint's still off in his own little world, staring off at some tree in the distance.
It's weird that you need to hear that story, because I come here because of it.
For closure or something?
Well, we didn't need to hear that story, but
yeah.
Thank you. Because of that guy, sometimes I think I see him when I'm all high, and I hear things here too.
Oh. Can we stop coming here?
Stop coming to this town? It's scary, but I do it because it's different. In this town, everything's always the same, but you can make it change if you want. That's the thing to say. A little bit poignant.
Is he talking about seeing whatever the hell the other place is when he gets high?
Like seeing the alternate reality?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Because I brought that up as an idea before. I was wondering if they see this other version of things. Also, it's like, was it Flynn was getting on us for supposedly hooking up at the site of Sydney's death or whatever, but now Clint's here, like, corrupting the memory of the place where we had our first kiss. Be like, by the way, some guy died here too.
His legs got ran over.
Right, where you kissed.
Dude, I mean, good luck finding anywhere to have any kind of romantic moment, especially in this town where it's not completely ruined. It's like you have somewhere else to kiss, and you're like, oh yeah, that's where, was it Janice? I guess where Janice peed, remember?
That's where Margaret got turned inside out.
Remember, and then in Route 65, we saw that one shack that was implied to have been like, with Keith. Keith ran the bar, and Keith was the one that was implied to be a child molester in Route 65.
I went back and checked the dialogue again. I don't think he's a child molester.
Dude, there's no way what she said.
I think that I think that was
things to kids.
I think that was supposed to be about her hypocrisy. I think that Keith's gay and she's homophobic, so she disowned her own son for being in a gay relationship. But also she's like showing concern for like if anything bad has happened to a kid, and it's like she's like blind to like the damage she did to her own family, because that's like the kind of hypocrisy that's in like religious households. I'm
just gonna keep thinking of Keith as the child molester.
I don't think that's what the dialogue is saying in that scene at all.
I definitely think it is.
At that point, he starts walking again, off the tracks and towards the group of trees. I decidedly don't follow him, instead hurriedly making my way back to Leo's house. Is that nearby? I guess I just kind of figured we drove here or something.
I mean, I also don't think this town's very big. I feel like if you really wanted to, you could run across the entirety of it.
Just without explicit context, I don't have a good sense of space. I have a lot of time to calm down on the walk back. I guess that contextualizes why both of them have shown up there then, if we're just near where they both live. Kudzu and Clint.
It's unfortunate to live in such a small town that the people you hate you really just can't avoid.
Yeah, well that's the problem with Clint and Leo.
Yeah.
Leo's splayed out on his couch, picking through a TV dinner with on his lap.
Yeah, I hate TV dinners. They gross me out. Oh, kid cuisine. Oh no.
Kid cuisine? There you are. I warmed one up for you too, but it's probably cold by now. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, you warm it up when you need it.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part of the microwave.
Also, I doubt anything is cold in this town.
Oh yeah.
That's alright. I'll just put it back in. Twice. It's like refried beans. Just twice microwaved TV dinner.
Yeah, that sounds so awful.
The pudding's extra crusty now.
No, I hate TV dinners because everything in there needs to be cooked differently, and the fact that you all put it in the microwave together, it's really upsetting because you're not supposed to. You shouldn't be microwaving the pudding, and it's just super gross. Salisbury steak grosses me out. I hate this. I hate thinking about it so much. Kid cuisines were on blue trays, which is literally the least appetizing color. They say you should never make anything blue if you want to eat well. Plates should not be blue. Your kitchen should not be blue. Yeah, they have blue tinted glasses if you're on a diet.
I literally don't even know when the last time was I had a TV dinner. Have I ever had a TV dinner? I have some kind of vague memory of like a pocket of that has a mac and cheese in it.
Oh, they put the
like a cardboard
next to the corn, and the corn gets in the pudding, and I hate it.
I mean, via the transitive property of thing by thing, then yes, the other thing is by the first thing too.
I hate it.
It's a multiplicative effect.
I have weird food phobias, and that's one of those.
The closest thing I'm used to is just like Lunchables, but that's not the same thing at all. But I would microwave my Lunchables.
No, why?
Well, the pizza Lunchables.
I can see that being good.
I would make the shitty little pizza Lunchable at like my dad's shop because we just had like a bunch of them in the fridge. Mm-hmm. So I'd put all the toppings on, and then I'd microwave for like 30 seconds, and then it would just like the cheese would melt, and it would just be like a warm, shitty, weird Lunchable pizza thing, like whatever the fuck this like weird pizza approximation thing that you make with those.
I like I think you might have saw me making English muffin pizzas the other day because that's like one of my favorite comfort foods is the English muffin, and you put pizza sauce and cheese on it, whatever else you want, just cook it in a toaster oven.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Like it's better than actual pizza to me.
Sure. English muffin stuff just is good in general. Like I need to get back in the habit of using that little like sandwich maker.
that thing was.
That thing's
was
nice.
Cool.
It's somewhere.
Cleaning
I think it just got put away. It's not that hard to clean.
Well, if you pull it out, I got Impossible breakfast sausage meat, so I can make a breakfast sandwich for once in my life.
Yeah, I don't know where it went. That was for context, I was given, because I kept eating breakfast sandwiches, somebody gave me a breakfast sandwich maker that's just this weird little it looks like a waffle iron, basically, like a waffle maker that folds over like that, but it has 2 compartments and a trapdoor in between. So you put the bottom of the sandwich in the bottom part and put your toppings on that, and then the top part you crack an egg in that part and then put the top half of the muffin or whatever there. And then you, once it's done cooking, you slide the trapdoor out and it drops the sandwich together into one sandwich, and then you open it.
Yeah, you're basically
and it works
everything in different departments.
pretty consistently.
Compartments, and then you slide the separators out, and then it falls together into a sandwich.
Yeah. It works nicely. You just can't actually expect it to cook anything besides the egg and the bread.
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to cut up like bell peppers and onions.
Yeah,
and stuff,
they're gonna be raw.
All my stuff up. Yeah.
Those are gonna be raw onion. I did put. I mean, I'm fine with raw onion though.
Me too.
So, but that was, you just have to have the right expectations.
But it made my egg not cook because it added moisture to the egg by having vegetables in there. So like it made the egg like not cook at all.
Oh no. Oh, I already said that. Leo watches me as I head back into the kitchen adjacent to the living room with my disgusting food amalgam.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Hey, what's up? My dinner is sitting on the stovetop, and I make an effort not to wrinkle my nose at the sculpted rib meat covered in barbecue sauce. It's like fucking McDonald's style, like fake rib, like
I always think of
it's like sculpted
the
meat
rib witch
paste
from The Simpsons. There's a whole episode about the rib witch at Krusty Burger, and I always think of that.
Why would you make them in the stove, but not when I was there?
What?
Yeah.
But you cook it in the microwave, right?
I think they're doing stove version.
Stove version of a...
Yeah, I don't think he might not have a microwave at all. A lot of stuff has stove.
Yeah, but it's like
or oven. I mean, yeah. Take it off.
Ew, just cook all those things separately. Don't.
It is like just like you're going. Once you're using a stove, it is a lot of work. It's to the point where it's getting close to just cook something. Just cook something normally.
Oh gosh.
Watery mashed potato complements the gooey mess.
This writer knows that it's also gross. The writer agrees.
Everyone knows. But welcome to Echo. Nothing. Just tired is all. I tossed the dinner back into the microwave. Okay. And set the timer to 2 minutes. It's just on the stovetop under the microwave.
That's such a good microwave sound.
All the more reason. Why did you microwave it when I wasn't here then?
I know!
As it's warming, I turn around to lean against the counter and face Leo in the living room. Hey, I was wondering something. Leo looks back at me, ears falling back a little. It's about Clint. Leo's brow furrows. I mean, you guys are at each other's throats. I know there's always been some animosity between you two, but I don't remember it being this bad. I frown. You guys practically want each other dead. Leo pins his ears back while he licks barbecue sauce off his fingers. I really don't know, Chase. If I had to say, I think it would be the drugs.
I'm really alarmed about how much Clint seemed sympathetic when complaining about Leo being mean to him. And Kuzu said earlier that he felt like Leo was a bully to Clint instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what has Leo been doing.
And Flynn's warning us about Leo, and he also lives here.
Yeah, but Clint is like somebody who's completely like we were taught to really hate him and think that he's a mess. So for him,
he is. He's drawing a gun on us.
But for him to specifically call out Chase for being a bully and a mean person is someone that we shouldn't be with. Because he's like, oh, it's bad enough that you're being all gay, I guess, but you're being gay with him. Why are you with him? Like, even he's warning us about Leo in a certain way, which kind of makes him seem perhaps he's a nicer character than we.
Where's this route going? Where are you going? This
route?
The drugs? Whatever he's taking, it's pretty hardcore. I mean, he's a goddamn skeleton now, right? Yeah. But it's not like I'm responsible for it. I just treat him like he treats everyone else. I open my mouth, hesitate, then finally ask what's been bothering me. When we were younger, would you say that you bullied him? Leo frowns. Well, what's bringing all this up? Nothing, I'm just curious is all. Leo starts to smooth down the fur on his head, all poofed out from his shower. I mean, I wasn't nice to him, of course, but he was an asshole to everyone else. Like I said, I did to him what he did to others. He coughs. Maybe a little worse. Worse? What he did to us was pretty bad, though. He tried to burn me with a cigarette once. See? When you tell me shit like that, I don't feel bad for any of the things I did to his worthless ass.
Yeah, but did you go out of your way to torture someone? Like...
Yeah, like not self-defense, but retribution.
Yeah.
I'm saved from having to respond to that as the timer goes off. I turn around to pull my food out of the microwave before grabbing a plastic fork and sitting down next to Leo. We eat in a slightly awkward silence. By the time I'm almost finished, I'm feeling a little nauseous. Ugh. Not to be rude, but do you always eat this stuff? Huh? He looks up with a mouthful of mashed potatoes. This microwavable dinner stuff. He swallows loudly. Yeah. You don't like it? He lowers his ears again, looking embarrassed.
Red flag. I'm gonna add that to the red flag list. Liking TV dinners.
That's how I got his belly, is he's living alone like this.
And like I said, he's drinking a case of beer to himself every day. Eating TV dinners alone.
Oh my god, Chase! It's fine. I mean, it's just... sad? I look at him sheepishly. You little fucker. I get better food sometimes. This is just easier.
Only sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. Not this is supposed to be the sometimes food. Yeah. I drag a plastic fork through the flaky potatoes. Flaky?
You said they were watery earlier.
How did they get flaky?
Maybe he microwaved them
A lot.
Again, a second time.
Do they turn them into fucking fries?
Well, sometimes when you're making the instant mashed potatoes, you add a little bit too much flakes, so you have to go back and add more milk to
oh
mix it
no,
again.
can they get flaky?
Yeah, they can get flaky.
Oh, weird. And what qualifies as better food? The diner? Hey, it's not like I can't afford it. I make good money. I laugh. This isn't about money, I just think you're lazy. Leo mock growls and leans over to grab me. I yelp theatrically and try to hold my tray steady as he yanks me sideways to lay down against him, our heads on the armrest. Hey, I gotta throw away my tray. It's full of gross TV dinner water. The author shares your resentment, clearly.
This is the scariest part of this game, and it will be probably...
There are details about this TV dinner that I would not know to write.
This makes me so upset.
TV dinner water.
How gross. I'm very upset by this, Keith. I blame you for all of this.
Welcome. You were wondering when the horror was going to start.
I'm so upset.
Leo nuzzles into my neck. Put it on the floor.
No, you're so lazy. Please throw it away.
He's a 10, but all of this.
No!
Ew, gross. You can throw it away when I'm ready to get up. Since when do you decide when I can or can't get up? Since you decided to mouth off to me. Now you're the one that's going to be cooking all my meals and cleaning up my house, Chula. I shiver and he responds by spooning me tighter. Clearly Leo's gauged that I am past the point of resisting at this point in my little vacation, and he's taking advantage of it. Estoy loco, Porti. He rolls the R dramatically, but I didn't. Definitely taking advantage of it. We're both too tired to do anything more, which is probably the best, for the best, and within a few minutes I've passed out.
I don't like that music changes.
Yo, bro, the rails are back.
Gets me.
Library. Wow. Clint hasn't been lying after all. What? Leo whispers it to me across the table, not looking up from his phone. Nothing, just finding some interesting stuff. I whisper back. Good. Leo grins, but still doesn't look up from his phone. There isn't much to go off of. After reading through it, I'm pretty skeptical of Haunted Echo, the main source of my documentary. Cool. Not a good sign. Whole reason you came here. At least the bit of information I just came across references some newspaper articles from 1952. The young wolf named Robert Smith wasn't even a resident of Echo. He'd been resting at the Echo classification yard after taking a train from the capital. He was on his way to the west coast, and once he thought he'd found the right train, he attempted to board it. No one knows exactly what happened, yet somehow, his train hopping went horribly wrong and he was found with both limbs severed 2 hours later.
I would say that is horribly wrong, by definition.
Yeah. He'd managed to crawl 20 yards north up along the rail before he was found. Somehow, impossibly, he survived the ordeal up to that point. This was mainly due to the mud packs that had been placed on the stumps, halting the bleeding. Of note was the fact that Robert had seemingly become delirious because of the blood loss, pain, or trauma. Likely a combination of all three, actually. He claimed that the bleeding had been stopped by a creature of some kind. When he tried to describe it, he began to sob and scream incoherently. It's hard to say how much of this is being exaggerated by the author. Either way, I don't exactly have time to track down all of her sources, so I decide I'll just have to trust it. My leg jumps as something soft and ticklish brushes up against it. I snap my gaze up at Leo. What? Leo gives me an innocent look while he continues to brush his tail up against my leg. Well, if you're not going to say anything, then please stop doing that. It's distracting. He does stop then, and I feel a little guilty, so I look back up. And thanks for getting a library card just so I could check this out. It's a huge help. He smiles. No problem, Nutria. Not one of your sexier words. I have no idea. I return back to the book. It's unlikely that Robert would have survived anyway, due to the extent of his injuries and infection. Still, it is of note that he ended up committing suicide a few hours after discovery. He apparently slipped out of the 5th floor window of the Peyton Regional Medical Center.
I guess nutria means otter.
Ah.
I just had to look that up really quick.
Though authorities simply dismissed it as a case of a man knowing that his demise was nigh and finishing the job himself. How? The author speculates that it had something to do with the horrors he saw on the tracks. How do you jump out of a window with no legs?
With a lot of effort.
But like, he's not even like healthy with no legs. He's like, he just lost his legs. Like, I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't think he jumped.
It would require the nurses to be immensely negligent. You'd have to basically drag yourself across the floor and then somehow use enough of your upper body strength to lug yourself out of a window.
I don't see how do you manage that
to do.
I definitely feel like he was thrown.
I mean, I'm looking at even just that where we live here.
It's like a lot of like bullets to the back of the head, ruled a suicide.
Yeah, because he shot something, it bounced back and hit him.
He bent the bullets like in Wanted. It's the most talented suicide ever.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at like our windows and even they're like 2 feet off the ground at least.
Yeah, no,
I'm trying to think if I'm pretty fit, but I don't know if I'd be able to lift my body even without my legs. Maybe without the legs it'd be easier. I don't know. You're
lighter, but he's also like delirious from blood loss. Like,
yeah, no, it doesn't make much sense.
He should have. I'm amazed he woke up. Like, what? I hear a soft whine coming from in front of me, and I lowered the book to find Leo draped across the table on his chest. He's looking up at me with huge puppy eyes.
He's bored. He wants to go home and cuddle.
I can't help but smile because it's so fucking adorable, even for a wolf as big as him. What? I have a project to do, remember? Yeah, I know, but we've been here for 3 hours now. You should take a break. You're gonna have to spoon while you read. It's the only way to keep him occupied. I look at the time and I'm shocked that he's actually right. How the hell did that happen? Well, I guess it's a good idea. I was just finding some really interesting stuff. I'm sure that project of yours is going to turn out awesome, especially if I keep interrupting you. He grins and stands up abruptly, grabbing my book up as well, so I couldn't continue to read.
He wants us to fail so we can come back home.
Yeah. I don't expect the project to work out as well as it does in the Carl route and any of the other routes.
No.
Or if at all, even.
I was gonna say, maybe, I wouldn't even say it like worked out well in the Carl route really that much, because we basically turned it in like a year later.
Well, I mean, that was because of the trauma.
Yeah,
the project
but it's still not ideal. But I mean, I suppose so. I don't know what grade we got on it.
Let's see if we can top our permanent bodily harm leaderboard from last time. Last time we just had giant scars and a limp.
Blinding pain shooting up through his legs constantly. Making
Hooray.
me cringe.
Let's go get some lunch. It's already almost 3. Alright, did you want to go to the diner? You want to eat there? Well, it's been a few days. I'd like to catch up with the others, you know. I know that's what you wanted to do. Actually, everyone's busy. I already tried.
I don't think that's true.
I don't believe you. What would they be doing? That's the point of this trip. Oh, really? What are they doing? Well, Flynn's working, TJ and Jen are on a hike, and Carl's asleep. Oh. It doesn't really seem like Leo to just blow off meeting with everybody. But I guess at this point in the trip, he's just tired of trying. I know I would be. Is this when we had the lake meetup? Friday?
No.
Because Sunday was the ending, right?
Yeah.
And I think Saturday was also already I don't remember if it was Friday or Saturday where we had the lake meetup and the second blow up. Where Flynn goes after TJ,
yeah.
and then we go home and the horror started. Either way, we're getting really close to the horror starting, I think.
Oh wait, I'm trying to remember because it's like, I think it was Friday because I keep wanting to say like Carl had his interview on Friday.
Yeah, didn't we talk about how there's no interviews on weekends or something?
Maybe it was Saturday. Maybe it was Saturday then, because I do remember saying like, "Oh, that's a weird day for an interview."
Is that what we said?
I don't know.
We gotta keep better notes with our brains. Probably just to show me up after what I said last night. Leo takes me to a semi-fancy steakhouse. He, of course, insists on paying for everything. I'm not really sure when Leo became so concerned with how I perceive his income.
When he imagined us living together.
Uh-huh. He wants to be the man. I don't mind, though. The meal is good, and I'm happy to not pay the $30 price tag. $30 at a steakhouse is low.
Yeah.
That's a low price. What are Echo prices?
Says the guy who got that salmon salad for $28.
I deserved better. That wasn't my fault.
You did, but
that wasn't my fault.
I would have told you.
Those people are fraudulent, bad people.
It was just a salad with pieces of salmon on it.
It wasn't even a salad. It was just some pieces of salmon, basically, on like some spinach or something. Like it was like a non-meal, and it was the most expensive thing they had on the menu, basically. It was absurd. For context, it was like I don't know. I guess it probably was a fancier place normally inside, but it was a place that was just serving food on like its back deck
because of COVID.
overlooking the lake. Yeah, we were on like a bachelor party trip type thing during early COVID, just kind of like experiencing the nowhere.
Yeah, we were like out in like a very nice wilderness with like lakes and streams and hiking and things. But yeah, no, that salmon salad was I teased Keith about that for several days.
That was a crime.
Because
we went to the coffee shop the next day, and I got a better salmon item for half the price from them.
I got like a clam chowder at that place for like $8, where you got the salmon salad, and it was so good. Like,
there's so many people that have gotten away with crimes because I never complain at food places. I just move on with my life. I'm like, well, I learned this mistake.
Yeah, you just gotta find
Time
out
to never do this
if
again.
it's worth it to you. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. It does remind me of his job, though, so I ask him about his schedule. He says his parents gave him the entire week off, which surprises me. I remember how Leo worked almost every day in that shop, so I guess his dad is just mellowing out with age.
What shop? What kind of shop is it again? I forgot what they do.
Was it a car shop?
Might have been.
I don't remember exactly. It doesn't come up in detail very often. I think every day should be 2 words, though.
Yeah. I would write it
every
that
day,
way.
1 word is definitely a different word than what he's doing there. Again, I have no reason to complain, though. It'd be really awkward if he was working all week during this trip.
It'd be really awkward if
You pick the Leo route. You hang out in his house alone and hope Clint doesn't attack you.
What if he secretly doesn't have a job anymore?
Oh. Well. On the way back, Leo nudges me as I'm nodding off and gestures out his window. Bait in the high. Sure enough, our old school is visible out the window. Want to swing around? Just to look at it? Yeah. I'm tired, but we're not doing anything else. Alright, why not? Just immediately forgetting we were supposed to go back and do more of the research later. It's past 5 at this point. You went for 3 hours and then took a break for over 2 hours already. What is this, every day of my life? As we pull up into the parking lot, there are only a few cars scattered around. We walk around the side of the school, then onto the football field. If Peyton High School put its money anywhere, it was definitely sports. That was one of the reasons I was so mediocre by comparison. Every sport in the school was extremely competitive, each one winning state regularly. They win state again since I've been gone? Nope. Came close last year, though. Almost as close as we did back in '09. Yeah. You still sore about that? Leo sits down on the top bench of the concrete bleachers, and I sit down next to him. Sometimes. Mostly because we were so damn close, and it really just feels like it was yesterday. It does kind of feel that way. I can remember it pretty clearly. It was one of the few times I'd seen Leo really cry. He wanted that championship so bad. I lean back and look around, breathing in deeply. Wow. It's really nostalgic being here. Isn't it? Leo looks off towards the sunset, and I can see him getting glassy-eyed. Is it weird that, if I could, I'd go through high school again?
Red flag.
Just regret of living past it. Like, go back. That was the golden years.
I've never heard that from a person who was doing okay.
Peaked in high school is definitely a thing. I definitely wanted out the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
It was miserable.
It shows that we had potential.
High school's not a good time. I think for a moment. Not really. I'd like to do it. I made a lot of mistakes. Well, not really because of that. More like, it was a lot of fun. I just want to experience it all again. I grin at him. Hey, you're talking like you peaked in high school.
Oh,
Did I? The question catches me completely off guard, and my stumbling around for words that follows doesn't help. No. I mean, we weren't here, so... He sighs. Leo, you've got a good paying job, your own house, a pretty damn good life. You're doing better than most. He laughs a little. I guess I just don't feel like it, you know? Why not? He leans back. Well, I don't really feel as good as I did back then. When I think of high school, or even further back. Man, those were the good days. What were you getting up to in Route 65, Leo? What were you getting up to in that game? I think about how completely inverse I am to that, how my life improved exponentially after I left the town. Well, you know, if you keep looking back, I don't think you'll ever be happy. Aw. Look at this scene.
Oh.
It's so warm.
Look how, like, beat up everything looks.
It confirms that they're both wearing shorts. He is very red. He has no more surprises in his, like, pattern, apparently. It's just red for the rest of his body. His head's real specific. There's a lot of, like, really odd details to pick out about how his head's, like, laid out. Like the weird, like the bright eye sockets with the eyebrows being the same color, and then he's got like a lightning bolt zigzag that goes to his ears from his eyes.
Yeah, like he definitely has a good design, and I like when I get to see Chase because
Chase has a goatee.
You don't. Oh my gosh, he does. I don't know.
Those words carried so much meaning. I don't know.
I just think it's odd that it's so starkly a different color. It's not even like the tan of his body. I feel like they should just made it like the brown of his body. If you want a little goatee, it should integrate it more naturally, you know? It comes off like a really sharp, like he's gonna stab somebody with it.
He looks so sad. I wrap an arm around his shoulders, which is a little difficult considering how broad they are.
I think he's got his arm wrapped around you, my dude.
Well, that comes later, maybe.
I know, just season.
Because 5 years from now, you'll probably look back on this era of your life and think, man, I wish I could go back. You're probably right. So let's just enjoy now. Leo sighs again, then looks straight down at me, meeting my eyes. Chase? Yeah. He pauses, looking off to the side before turning his eyes back on mine. I love you. I immediately look away.
Oh no.
Chase, please. Please just come back. I miss you so much. Every day. Still not how you use that word. I stare out across the field, not able to meet his eyes again. I'll stop smoking. I'll stop picking on Clint. I'll get rid of the gun. Just please come back. I don't know, Leo. You know how I don't like it here. And I feel like I should keep my options open. To find a good job, a good place to live. Just for a year, or two, while you're getting on your feet. I'll give you a place to stay. That sounds great, Leo, but to get back together, that's like setting ourselves up for another breakup, and I don't want to do that. But then we'd know for sure, without parents or school in the way. It'll just be us, and then, even if it doesn't work out, there's some closure there. For the first time, I feel myself seeing things from Leo's point of view. I'm not necessarily losing anything by at least trying.
I don't know about that, Chase, because like, you got a life and you got like a college.
You almost died on this trip.
Yeah, and it's only been like 5 days.
Before the horror part starts.
Yeah.
And he's right. There wasn't really any closure, mostly because of me. Leo must sense my indecision because he immediately presses forward. And I'll be making enough to support you while you figure things out. Hey, I don't want to mooch. I don't mind. I just want you to be comfortable so you can do what you want to do. But... Echo... Leo's quiet for a while. A long while, before he finally speaks up. Now that, I can't fix. But I guess one way to decide is to weigh what's more important to you. You're asking me to choose. I'm not asking that, exactly. Leo glances at me. But if I did? I blow out a long sigh. So you are. He doesn't say anything, so my mind starts wandering over the years we'd spent together. Despite how much we fight, there's no question in my mind what the answer is, and it hits me like a thunderbolt. Well, I'd choose you. All at once his face explodes into a grin. So much happiness in one expression that I don't think I'd ever be able to take back what I just said, even if I wanted to. Uh-oh. And instantly I'm wrapped up in a tight, warm hug. One that crushes the air from my lungs. Oh my god, Chase, I love you so fucking much. Hey. But you've still got a year of school left, so we're gonna have to get back into contact, and we're gonna have to exchange... I clasp my muzzle shut with my hand. I clasp his muzzle shut with my hand around it, and he just stares back at me with wide eyes. I didn't even say yes. I take my hand away from his muzzle. Oh, well, what do you say? I look again towards the sunset, past the concrete bleachers and goalposts in the direction of Echo, and take a deep breath. I look back at Leo. Yes. And then he's kissing me. It's not rough, like it was in the train yard. His mouth stays closed, but he holds my head gently, and it's like he's trying to pour all of his love into me just through his lips. As ridiculous as it might sound, I can feel it. Aw.